Welcome back, frenemies. We're at episode 44. Today's recording is sponsored by Mr. Opus Financial Services. If you need help budgeting or want to know how to quietly kick butt in fantasy, call Mr. Opus today. You don't know him, but about 12 other guys do.
A little confused. But
it's all right. I was paid to say that. All right, but shout out to David Huthmaker, a YouTube subscriber who gave us a great bet punishment. If you guys didn't know, we want to talk a little about the bet that you won this week against me.
We had the bet of Geronimo Allison. We agreed upon 10.5 points would be our over-under.
Yeah.
If we got the under, if it hit the under, I win. If it hit the over, then Chris would win. And we had a good suggestion on YouTube. Finally, somebody knows how to give a good suggestion.
Yes, thank you, David.
And so he said Halloween costume. So I'll get to pick a Halloween costume for Chris. I'm actually going to do something where I think it'll be fun to involve, listeners and everybody. And I'll come up with 4. I'll get him approved because he does work for a Christian school, so we can't do something too crazy.
Do nothing that crazy.
But I'll get 4 costumes ideas ready, and then I'll put a poll on all of our social media, and we'll see who wins. And then
I'm all for it.
Whatever costume wins, Chris will be wearing on the Halloween episode. So
I'm okay with
make sure you tune into the YouTube for that one.
Yes, that'll be probably our most viewed one. That'll
Yep.
probably get shared everywhere. But yes, so welcome into this week's episode. Let's go to Talk of the Town. Going in this week, man, we got Sammy's Hammy.
Sammy's Hammy.
You're the owner of him in our league.
I am.
How's that hamstring treating you with Sammy Watkins?
It's been rough with Sammy Watkins. I'm not gonna lie. He had a 45-point game on my bench, and since I put him in, it's been pretty rough. You can't do anything about the hammy. Like as a fantasy owner, it just sucks because you put him in, and then he got hurt on the first drive, and that was the end. 0. I'd be a little scared of that happening if he does play. It's kind of Sammy is injury prone.
Yeah,
so
he is.
I would be a little trepidatious. I think a little bit later, Ryan might talk about Sammy Watkins' injury a little more.
I just might, Sean.
You just might. So
great plug in.
But moving on to Wayne Gallman, we got a lot of concussions this week. Goodness gracious!
I know.
So we got Wayne Gallman had a concussion. Brandon Cooks had a concussion, and of course the big Rudolph hit.
Mason Rudolph.
Oh my gosh, that was brutal looking. And so with Cooks, I think the big takeaway from this is if he's not going to play this week, you can play Gerald Everett at tight end. We saw as soon as he went out of the game, he started getting peppered with targets once Cooks was gone.
So you trust him over Reynolds?
Yes.
Getting game plan? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Higbee, actually, is, I think.
I was thinking the wide receiver Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Taking over
Ryan
Cooks.
Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds.
Who knows? Maybe Ryan Reynolds has talent.
He would probably be very good. He's good at everything he does.
Higbee and Everett, they do a lot in the tight end spot. But, I mean, yeah, the tight end, the targets were going to Everett once Cook was out, but do you think they might game plan Reynolds in there a little more?
I think it's possible, but they're definitely going to be running more 2 tight end sets, and so he's going to be in on a lot of plays. I think that you just have such a high upside this week if you put him in if Cooks is out. So it's just, I mean, I'm not saying start him over your normal starting tight ends, but if you need somebody off the waiver wire, I think he's a good pickup this week.
Talking about these concussions before we talk about the other two, there's I know the concussion protocol as a coach, and I was given the cards about how to go through all this stuff. These guys are coming back awkwardly fast. Mason Rudolph is practicing.
That's crazy.
Did nobody else see him?
Yeah, Landry had the same thing.
And these guys were
right back.
I think, dude, they just know how to answer the protocol questions better and getting back. I'm like,
I don't know.
Some of these hits we see on Sundays are ridiculous. And Rudolph falls over and his hands stuck in one position pointing up because he was knocked out.
Yeah. Oh, he was out before he hit the ground.
And then they made the guy limp off.
Yep.
They said some guys thought the cart was broke, but they said that in the medical rules, he's allowed to go limp off. So I don't know, they're covering their butts or something. But then you get the guy limping off with a face mask taken off the helmet, right? I mean, you can't do it now. Probably a week from now, there's going to be 1,000 memes with that face of him limping off because he looked like helmet with no face mask looks really funny.
Yeah.
And this guy is dazed and confused as he's walking off the field. I was like, this does not look good.
Yeah. So with his concussion, it means the Steelers players are in trouble if he doesn't play this week.
Exactly.
Mason Rudolph isn't great himself, but now you're going to a third-string quarterback.
Hodges or whatever his name was.
I would be very trepidatious starting any Steelers.
Yep.
I mean, James Conner might see an uptick because they're just going to want to run the ball.
I have a question.
Yes.
For you too, because you guys know I'm
here to answer questions.
I'm a relatively new football fan. It's the last 6 years or so.
Yep.
All right.
You're a little baby.
What the heck? dudes. Like the first quarterback goes down, your QB1 goes down. The other guy that comes up, it's like there's never much hope.
Yeah.
Why don't people care about their QB2 and 3?
I know.
It's the time in practice. So you get the collective bargaining agreement has a lot of time with practice time.
Yeah.
Right. So you're getting so much early in the week. You might get some reps, but all the first team reps are going with the first team quarterback.
Do you think it's that? You think it's the chemistry of the field?
Well, and your playbook really shrinks down because week to week, you don't just repeat the same plays. You're always putting new wrinkles.
Okay.
So you're always game planning for the next, It's like on steroids how much they can put in 1 week. So a good veteran QB2, all right, like a Hasselbeck went on forever.
Yeah.
Because he can get plugged in and you never have to shrink it. But when you got a Rudolph, a guy's second year in the league, and these guys, their playbook's even smaller.
Yeah.
So you don't think, because I'm a little suspicious. I'm like, you guys aren't doing your homework. Like,
well, that's why guys like McCown, was coaching high school in there. When somebody needed Josh McCown to come back, they put him. He's a vet. He's proven it. He knows the NFL playbook pretty well.
You see how rookies struggle. It's the same type of thing when you're coming off cold and you just haven't played in NFL games for a long time. I think that's what it is. You can't catch up to the game speed in game, and so it takes, like, Mason Rudolph probably was starting to find himself, but he's hurt now, and so
unless you're the Jaguars,
that's true. Gardner Minshew,
that's my boy.
Next Tom Brady,
Minshew's mustache.
Tom Brady, that's right. This man's called it.
Yeah.
All right, so we can talk about that. Gallman's concussion, that's tough. I mean, there's Thursday night here. Hillman is probably one of the bigger names to use.
Yeah.
But it's a terrible matchup. I would skip over them because they're going against the number one defense in the league.
Yep. We'll talk about him later too. Yeah.
So you're looking at Gallman's injury, and everyone just spent some fab to get that. So that's the talk of the town. We'll go to our party question of the week.
Ian, would you like to go to a party in my pants?
No, Brick.
All right, let's go.
All right, so our party question of the week: best TV dad. All right, best TV dad. We grew up in a great generation of TV, so I'm hoping we got some good answers here. Sean, who's your best TV dad?
All right, so my best TV dad, I'm gonna go with Philip Banks, aka Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil.
So I don't know if there's
Fresh
any
Prince there.
Yeah, Fresh Prince fans out there, but that was one of my favorite shows. Just I love Will Smith. It was hilarious.
Who doesn't?
The thing that I think of, and rest in peace, James Avery. He recently passed away, so that's sad. And one of the big moments I remember. There's two. There's the obvious one that everyone knows, like when Will's dad walks out on him a bunch, and then he goes to Uncle Phil and hugs Uncle Phil. He was just like a great dad to open up his home to this, nephew of his and just accept him as one of his own. And one of the coolest episodes that I thought I could remember, they're playing pool at this pool house. Yes. It's Carlton and Will.
I love this episode.
And they're getting shook down by some guy. And Uncle Phil walks in and he's like, I'm not going to have any part of this. And so he is going to have a part of it, but he's not going to take it. So he goes up to the guy and he's like, okay, well, I've never really played before, but I'll go against you. And so he starts hustling them where he's, losing every game. And then he's like, all right, we're going to triple bets now. And then he just pulls out his pool stick from college and he's like a master pool shark and just takes these guys to the woodshed. So I don't know, it's just a really fun, cool thing where he just takes them out. So.
Oh yeah, that's a really good one there. Ryan, you're gonna have to explain a lot on this one.
Oh man, Walter Nichols, Drake and Josh's dad.
Yeah, okay.
I can't even picture it in my head when he said this.
Oh really?
I watched it back in the day. I just can't think of the dad.
He's just funny, man. He's a weatherman.
Oh, okay.
And he always gets it wrong.
That's like most weathermen get it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But no offense. You know what? Loose lips sink ships. I'm just going to skip over what I was going to say right there.
Okay. So, the one thing I remember about him was, what was it? Was it Bruce Winchell? That was his nemesis that he would always Bruce Winchell. It was it was the hair. That's right. He had really, really good hair, and he could never get as good hair as Bruce Winchell.
Wasn't there I can't even. The 90s were different. The 90s were different than now. You can kind of get away with things
that was
you really can't get away with now.
Right there, Drake and Josh, early 2000s.
Early 2000s were different.
right, mine was Tim the Toolman Taylor. Home Improvement.
I like this one. This was consideration.
He was probably to me the best dad in the '90s when it came to TV shows. I mean, yes, Uncle Phil was one, but Tim the Toolman was the best when it came to just comedy. But then when he had to like get the heart to heart with his sons, it was there. So I just loved growing up watching him. He was hilarious, but at the same time, it was wholesome as well. Wholesome. But so that's our party question.
We're wholesome.
Yeah, our wholesome picks of dads. Now we're going to go to the fantasy football Tinder here.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, so in the fantasy football Tinder section here, we go outside the top 15.
Sort of.
Running back and wide receiver positions. You're supposed to. Okay, we'll see if someone breaks the rule and just talk about swiping left, swiping right, who we start and who we sitting.
Yep. So kind of give you some guys for the flex if you're in consideration here. That's usually where they fall in this flex position.
So the running back spot here, Ryan, I'm going to start with you, man. Who's your start of the week?
My start of the week. Stalling for time.
Oh, my bad. I went too fast over. I was like, I never go to Ryan first.
I never have done first. Yeah, I think Austin Eckler, you can safely start him. He's got a serious role in the offense, even with Melvin Gordon back. Caught 15 passes last week, and I think that the mystery is over. He's just got too big a role to sit, so I'm starting him. Like I said, like that's kind of like a mystery. I'm kind of breaking the rules there because after that performance, you kind of have to start him. But
but there's probably fantasy owners out there who are scared that it was just a warm-up week for Gordon and that Eckler's role could completely disappear this week, and I think you're right. It's not going to go all the way away. He's definitely going to be somebody you can play. So,
right,
yeah, I like that.
I agree with it.
All right, Sean, who's your start of the week? Who are you swiping?
So I'm swiping right on Adrian Peterson.
Ooh,
I know it's kind
of faithful there.
Yeah, it's been kind of a rough year for Adrian Peterson.
Flashback to 7 years ago. What's going on?
Well, he might look like that because he's playing the Miami Dolphins, and they are very terrible at everything that involves football. So, their rush defense has just been real bad. It's not the worst, but it's 31st ranked. So you're walking into a great situation here. The other big thing that happened was Jay Gruden got fired. And the coach that's coming in, he's more of a run-centric kind of guy. They're probably going to try to slow it down for Haskins or Colt McCoy. I don't know if we know yet who's starting this next game, but I think that you can trust Adrian Peterson because the Dolphins are going to be bad enough that there's a good chance the Redskins could be winning this game. And even if they're not, I think they're going to give him enough rushing attempts against a bad defense that he'll fall his way into some RB2 numbers. So if you need, running back to start this week, that's what I would say.
Nice. All right, my start of the week here, I'm swiping right on Sony Michel.
Okay.
Against the New York Football Giants on Thursday night. He's still a touchdown-dependent back, but he had about 19 touches last week and totaled over 100 yards.
Okay.
So and that was against a lesser team like Washington, but the Giants aren't that much better than Washington on defense. So I'm going week to week here with a crowded backfield in New England, but it looks like Sony's starting to catch on a little bit, but he's going to be kind of like Phillip Lindsay and those guys. He's an RB2 at max. Will never be an RB1 right now, but he could be a very good RB2, especially with the touchdown.
Yeah, I expect the Patriots to be up big in this game. The Giants are missing so many players. I could totally see Sony Michel just grounded and pounding that second half and getting you lots of fantasy points, turning it away.
So who you sitting, Sean?
All right, so my sit this week on the opposite end of that matchup is the running backs for the Giants. So it's probably Hillman that I'm talking about here, but in case you were thinking about starting Elijah Penny, I would say as well, put him on the bench. I know it sucks because you probably just paid a good amount to get Hillman, but it is not a good matchup this year. This Patriots defense is like historically good right now. They are dominating, especially against the run. They haven't allowed a single rushing touchdown this whole entire year. So that's 5 straight games, no rushing touchdowns. I don't think the Giants are the one to break that. And And so as much as it sucks to not be able to use him, because I think after this week, it's possible Saquon comes back or Gallman's back. So I think Hillman, if you were thinking about picking him up, I'd just leave him down as waiver wire fodder.
So you would go, so put this into perspective, the RB1 for New York, right?
Yep.
Usually you want to get someone that's going to be there for snap counts.
He's going to get the work. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be awful, but he's definitely not going to get you.
But you feel more comfortable getting like a Tevin Coleman or a Miles Sanders who's splitting touches.
Yeah, so like a Miles Sanders is a perfect one because that may be somebody you're deciding between. Miles Sanders hasn't been that great this year, but he's in a better offense, and that's why I would easily take Miles Sanders over
anyone now.
Anyone on that running back.
If it's not Gallman, if it's not Saquon, especially in this week's matchup.
Yeah, that's the big thing is it's the Thursday night. They're banged up. It's just going to be a gross game. And I think unless he gets like 6 catches, you're going to be very unhappy with what you get from him.
Yeah, it's pretty gross when the Buffalo Bills are the most relevant football team in New York over the Jets and the Giants.
Yeah.
But all right,
it's been a rough one.
Ryan, who you swiping left on your sit at the running back position?
It started to look like Jalen Samuels was almost startable running back with the Steelers. I would say if you went out for Benny Snell Jr. to give it a week.
Yeah, everyone's trying to search on that, go into depth.
Yeah, it's been a rough running back field out there. So there's people out there that are like, oh, I picked this guy
I
up
went in for him, but
put him in, but
it's also a handcuff situation for me since I have Connor.
Yeah, I think Connor's probably going to just end up taking most of that work.
And he's probably going to get stuffed.
And Snell's not very much of a receiving back, which is what Jalen Samuels was.
Right.
So if people are thinking, he'll just take that role, I think that more of that's going to go to Connor than really just him take over.
Okay. All right, I'm swiping left on Jordan Howard. I just don't know why. It's against the Vikings defense here. Splitting there with Sanders. Receiving backs do a lot better against Minnesota than just the rushing guys. So if he doesn't get a touchdown, he's only getting like 30, 40 yards rushing.
Yeah, he's definitely been living off those touchdowns.
Yeah, even against that big game against the Packers 2 weeks ago where it looked like he was back, it was just because he was getting the 6 points right at the end.
Yep.
So I would sit him against tough defenses. They're going to be a little more exotic with their play calling. Let's go into the wide receiver position. Sean, give me your start and sit your swipe left, swipe right at that spot.
All right, so I'm swiping right. I'm going to start Larry Fitzgerald this week.
Okay.
He started off real hot, and then he's kind of cooled down over the last few weeks.
Funny because it's talking about Tinder.
Yeah.
Started off hot. And then Then I got to know him. And
we stopped texting.
Yeah, so I'm saying this week you can take him out on the date. He's going to be looking fine to the 9, as Morgan Collins would say.
Looking fine.
Shout out to Morgan Collins.
Yeah, Miami.
So the Cardinals this week, they're going to be playing the Falcons.
Man,
and
Falcons look awful.
Are in trouble on defense.
Oh.
It's the same story as last year. They just have these injuries.
It's a Swiss cheese defense.
It is a Swiss cheese defense. Last week, just to put this in perspective, last week they gave up 65 points to wide receivers. I would say somewhere in there, Larry Fitzgerald is going to get some points this week if that continues. Yeah. And they've just gotten worse and worse progressively each week, this Falcons defense. So
Deshaun Watson was almost perfect against them last week. He had something, I'm looking up real quick. Like, he was 28 for 33.
Yeah. So it's just an amazing matchup.
Falcons made Will Fuller famous.
Yes. Kyler Murray is coming into his own kind of. Last week he looked real good. I think this is kind of the week that offensive Cliff Kingsbury will really explode on this really bad defense. They may still lose the game, but it's going to be, that's the other half of it is the Falcons, they can put up points. So the Cardinals defense is bad. This is going to be a high scoring game. I just think there's going to be a lot of fantasy points, and Larry Fitzgerald is somebody you can put in there as a wide receiver too.
Yep. All right, man. Get this bell ready to ring here. So your swipe left, I know someone's not very happy about.
So my swipe left, and I'm sitting this week, is DK Metcalf, or as Ryan likes to call him, DJ Metcalf.
I don't know why.
DJ Metcalf.
Was he spinning discs?
He's amazing.
So I know it's been a fun ride, but he really hasn't been getting the targets. He has only had 5 receptions in the last 3 games. Yep. Now, 2 of those have been touchdowns.
Big ones.
And that's where you get a lot of points. The problem is this week he's playing the Browns, which may not sound like that hard of a matchup, but they're actually 7th in the NFL against wide receivers. So I'm not saying you absolutely cannot start him, but if you have any other better options, I would really try to stay away from him until you start to see that target count go up. Because right now, he's just not getting targeted. It's all Tyler Lockett. They're using a lot of Will Disley. The other thing is Cleveland's been bad. This could be one of those games where Seattle gets up quick, and then it's just Chris Carson for the rest of the game. And then so you really have to hope that DK Metcalf's going to get that touchdown in the first or second quarter, or you might be in trouble. So I'm saying sit him. So I guess we'll let Mr. Ryan talk here.
Yeah, no, I have the same concern about his targets, but they're probably going to blow out Cleveland, like you said, and I think he's going to get a piece of that.
Okay, so you're counting him as part of that.
Yeah, I'm counting him as a part of that. Who knows what's actually going to happen there?
Over under 10.5. You going over? 10.5.
Oh man, I think he gets this touchdown this week.
Ooh. Yeah. That
I'll give you 10. I'll go down the extra half a point because I'm feeling generous. So if we do 10, you think he will get more than 10? You want to take a bet? I'll take less than 10.
I think he gets 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Listener bet here. You guys get to chime in on the punishment.
Yeah. Give us another suggestion here. If you want to get back in there.
David, throw a good one in there, Healthmaker.
To me, he's not going by the definition. Now I'm following the rules like I'm a hypocrite.
Okay.
But going by the definition of starter sit, we're in a 12-team league. That's our main league. I can't sit him in that league, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, I'm saying I think he probably could.
Okay.
I guess,
and I'm saying you probably could.
Well, your team, as we forgot to mention at the start of this podcast, is having trouble. So you're not a typical team
fantasy
right now.
isn't paying the bills, so I had to get a job. Came straight from work today, guys. It's tough times.
Look at that button down. He's
man of the Peopleville.
You tune into the 757, and we'll have plenty to talk about.
A little bit more in depth about my struggles.
All right, so that's your start. You sit there.
What you got, Chris? As your
all right. I'm
start.
Swiping right here on Scary Terry McLaurin over there with the Washington Redskins.
This is a flip flop.
Scary Terry.
Yeah, that's his nickname on the Redskins. Scary Terry.
Yeah, I think last week he was your sit. Yeah,
now I'm starting him because guess who's he playing? The Dolphins.
The Dolphins. Yeah,
it's like start up your Redskins. Even with the coach leaving, Redskin players, I think, should be started because who they're playing against. He has 7 targets last Sunday against the Patriots.
Say his target count is great.
If he was Harry, he could be Scary Harry Terry.
Thank you.
You have to.
Is he Harry?
I was going to say his middle name could be
He's
Harry.
not Harry.
Could be. Yeah, no.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay, go on.
I'm not. Okay. So he threw me off. But Colt McCoy liked him enough to keep going. Who knows who's starting next week? I still think it's Colt over Haskins.
Even Noddy played college with Haskins. So
there we go.
You got the connection
if
there.
One of those two.
That's the moments in this podcast I feel a little lost.
Yeah.
In high school, he played with this guy. I can't believe it.
I don't know high school, but college, he is one of them.
Yeah. So I'm going to swipe right on Terry. I think he's going to be a good start just because of the matchup there. And then swiping left on Juju just because.
Juju, this is a brave one.
That's a brave one because who the heck is throwing him the ball?
I know.
Right?
I don't disagree with you. It's going to be rough.
Mason Rudolph or Hodges or Jalen Samuels and the Wildcat.
Well, not anymore. He's hurt. So.
Yeah, so that's like the things I was watching last week. So who knows where Juju's going to get his targets from because the quarterback situation. I haven't seen anything. Nothing's coming out of them signing anybody.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough week for the Steelers.
Yes. All right.
Good for our Dolphins first round pick that we got from them.
Yeah, you got 2 top 10 picks, man.
Guys, I'm gonna connect with our audience real quick.
All right.
Connection. All right. Who you're swiping right, swiping left to the wide receiver position?
So you already told us about Mr. Metcalf. I guess. Do you have anything else to add on?
Where are we?
Where are you?
Wide receivers?
Wide receiver start,
right
which
there.
is
Starting.
DK Metcalf.
Oh, starting. Yeah, who I'm starting. Yeah. Well, other than DK, this is a weird one, but I think Odell Beckham Jr. you have to sit, and Jarvis is still safe because he's getting killed.
So
Baker Mayfield.
Jarvis over Odell this week.
Yeah, I'd say sit Odell Beckham
Sit him.
on your bench.
Juju Smith-Schuster and
Odell
Beckham. That's what we're recommending. I'm a little scared for us right now.
Yeah.
It's not like
Sounds crazy.
It's not against those guys individually. It's their quarterbacks. Baker was horrible on Monday night.
Well, he's
losing
killed.
guys probably plenty of fantasy matchups because Yeah. In some leagues, I heard, listening to some other podcasts, depending on how you're set up, Baker had negative points.
Yeah.
And lost. And then, really, when it comes to Juju, it's just who's throwing him the ball.
He does know.
I had him.
Speaking of that bad team,
how was that?
But Jarvis, he's still getting his save me from death and the death of my career passes.
Yeah, I could see that.
He's getting them off. Jarvis always saved. Tannehill was the same thing with the Dolphins. Tannehill was always he had his tongue going out, and he would just pass the ball, to Jarvis right before he got smacked. The most sacked quarterback, right, for a few years there?
Yeah, he had a year that he was the most sacked, and Jarvis definitely took advantage of that.
Jarvis is the quarterback saver.
Yeah. Especially on those short routes.
Anyways, Odell Beckham needs to just be like a freaking flex at this point, if that. Yeah.
All right.
So our QB waiver wire lookup, we're right in the meeting. We have, 4 or 6 teams on? I think it's 4 teams on bye weeks.
Yep.
So a lot of guys move around. Captain Kirk. All right. He's been on the negative in this podcast, but
Kirk Cousins, for those of you that
Captain Kirk Cousins there. What? Last week he had over 300 yards, barely over 300 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So that's about 20 plus fantasy points.
Yeah, I decided to let you have this because last week in the doc here we had Kirk Cousins, and I told you to switch him out for Brissett, and I was wrong because Kirk Cousins was much better than Brissett this week. So I'll default to the Vikings fan if Kirk Cousins is going to have a good week or not.
No one's harder on Kirk Cousins than a Viking fan, because we're paying him $89 million guaranteed.
Why did you do that?
It's the market. Anyways, but when we go against
Philly, what do you mean it's the market?
That's what you tell yourself.
That's what you tell her. You're looking for a quarterback. You're trying to beat the market out, so you're going to try to offer him. He was the best QB at the free agent market.
Was he?
Yeah.
He's always been a choker. I'm sorry.
It's just that best year, he was the best free agent
I'm with you,
QB.
Ryan. I've always been anti-Kirk Cousins.
But he's going against Philadelphia, who he's always had, even back to his Washington days, had a great success against. So he's averaged over 300 yards passing against Philly on the last, I don't know how many matchups he's had with them. So need a quick pickup. He's outside the top 12 in quarterbacks right now.
Yeah,
so
you can
probably
pick him up.
Available. So that's our waiver wire pickup. Now we're going to our turntable session.
Well.
This drop is
How
so
the
funny.
turntables.
All right, so anyway, can't stop laughing. All right, so turntables, players who are about to buck the trend either for better or for worse. I'm going to start off here. I'm picking Phillip Lindsay, a running back I fell in love with last season as a rookie because I have a thing for rookie running backs.
Explain that.
I just love picking up upside guys. And looks like the backfield situation with, was it Royce Freeman back there? Between the two, he is now alpha male. And he's turned out some really good games here lately.
Yeah.
Strong RB2. We are hurting really bad at the running back position in fantasy.
Yeah.
But if you can have him as your RB2 with another strong RB1, you're probably winning a lot of games in your leagues.
I mean, he's talented. That's the thing that I look at. Like he's
Three
just
down
too
back,
talented
he can
that
do a ton.
he's been able to get over the fact that he's on the Broncos, who actually have looked better in the last few weeks here. So
good old man Joe Flacco there. Sean, who's your turntable?
All right, so this one's only for this week. I'm not endorsing this guy for the rest of the season.
I know. I saw this. I was like, are you like you see a magic ball, like those crystal balls?
I'd like to think that I can see the future as a fantasy analyst here. But Carlos Hyde this week, I think that he's about to have himself a game. He is playing the Chiefs, who they were allowing 5.8 yards per carry. And they just lost Chris Jones, who's like a great run stopper.
Oh, he's a great defensive lineman.
So that is just going to get worse. You saw what happened with the Colts. They gave the blueprint, and I fully expect the Texans to take that blueprint and do the same thing. So I think Carlos Hyde is going to get a lot of carries. Last week he had 20 carries. I wouldn't be surprised to see that again. He's only averaging about 2.9 yards per carry, but the good medicine for that is to play this Chiefs defense. I just think if you need somebody to start as even an RB2, I think he'll be as good as an RB2 this week, just because he'll get so much work. That Chiefs defense is going to be just so banged up and is bad, and I see him, pulling off a big game for you.
I like that. Carlos Hyde.
Carlos
Did not
Hyde.
think he'd be on the
Maybe
positive
even pick him
turntable
off the
here.
waiver wire in some leagues.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, who's your turntable boy?
Le'Veon Bell
Good or bad?
is going to turn the tables to be a wee bit better.
Just a little bit with that Jets offense.
Let's look at the numbers, people, because I have them here.
Oh, Ryan has numbers.
Ooh.
17 rushes, 21 rushes, 18 rushes, 15 rushes, 60 yards, 68 yards, 35 yards, 43 yards, touchdowns, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work, but
it's been bad, guys. Let's be honest, it's been bad for those of us I'm connecting with the audience.
With those Le'Veon Bell owners.
It's a connection.
Yeah.
I'm 1-2, Ryan. We can hold hands.
Okay, we can
Right
hold
in front
hands.
of me. This
Basically,
feels
what
odd.
I'm trying to say is that it's been
I'm
rough.
done with this.
You're done?
I'm done.
You lost, bro.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Do you want to hold hands? Okay. Anyway, Sam Darnold's coming back. The Cowboys have a kind of wonky run defense. I think we start Le'Veon with a little confidence this week after drafting him in the first round. That's all I'm saying.
I'd agree with that. Just a little behind the scenes here. I sent a trade offer over to Ryan today because I was.
That's how I know I've got a good guy on my team. This guy
trusts my analyst.
This guy trades you.
He still hasn't even accepted or rejected my trade offer.
Oh,
I think I did.
Another trade out there.
I think I did in your house.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Kind of wrong.
Rejects it, traded my own house.
After eating your food.
How dare you?
No.
Oh.
Anyway, so those are our turntables.
Yep.
This is our episode for the week here. We got anything for the audience as we head out?
I don't think so. Just, stay tuned. We're going to have a 757 talk. We had a little bit more planned this week. It should be a fun one. We're going to compare.
Hold hands again?
No, we don't need to do that.
No.
Maybe you can tune in and see if we do, but we won't. So tune in 757 week, and we'll compare our league mates to NFL teams. I think that'll be a fun exercise.
That'd be a great one.
So,
all right, guys. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe. Tell your grandmothers about us.
all right, and make sure you jump in there in the comments and give us me and Ryan's bet with DK Metcalf. Give us something to on the tame side. Let's not go, shaving eyebrows or anything.
Come on, a bet is a bet. Go big or go home.
No, I made a bet with the wrong person here.
Yeah, bro.
All right.
See you guys. Deuces.